Syncing up everything. So we'll start off with like the most important question. This one is something that Nathaniel really wanted to ask.
Okay.
Vans or Converse?
Damn. That's really hard. It depends on what you're doing, I guess. Like Vans every day, or no, sorry, Converse every day, but like Vans to skate. You have to have respect for the shoe. Like if you're wearing Vans to wear Vans, it's like weird. They're made for a reason, and that's to skate. So
I don't get people who wear Vans as like a daily shoe either.
I think it's uncomfortable. Because
Definitely.
like, you know, the sole is really made for gripping. And I mean, unless you're going somewhere where you know you might slip and fall, like the mall, maybe. But even Chucks, they have the, you know, bottom. So.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Why is he like a...
If I'm pulling from memory, I believe he's a super Vans fanboy. So like...
I guess it's like also your foot. Like, are you flat-footed or do you have a high arch?
I haven't looked at his feet.
So like...
all too much.
It's
recently.
all about, you know, being comfortable too. So, yeah.
I'm more of a Converse kid, so...
I like both respectfully.
Yeah. I think that's where that question ends, really.
Okay.
To be honest. All right. So, let's get into it. I really had the question of, or I'm very interested whenever I speak to someone who is creative and someone who I've known for, I guess, a long time. Right?
Yeah.
How'd you really get into art? Which is like a really heavy question, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
to some, others to not. But following that, what really made you push to make this your career in any sort of capacity?
Well, I've been drawing since I was little. My grandma always tells me like how I had this weird psychotic obsession with eyes. So she would like help me and draw like, you know, the almond shape and then I'd like fill it in. But from there, it kind of like spiraled into something more. I never took art in like middle school because it was probably trash anyway. But I actually didn't take my first art class till my freshman year of high school because I tried out for theater, but I'm a coward and I couldn't perform. So very shy. But after high school, you know, I took like AP stuff, whatever. And then it didn't get real though till I got to college. And I mean like my final semester, senior year of college. Because I thought that I was like hot shit up until I actually learned how to draw. Like I took drawing 1 my last semester because it was like the final rec that I needed to graduate. And, you know, going in there, you know, everyone else was like fucking awful, but like I think really like studying the human form is like what made me appreciate what I do a lot more, because it's like, you know, there was always like a fear of doing people besides their faces versus like full body things. And you know, I don't know, I guess, but I also knew that I didn't want to just like do art because it's such a broad thing. You know, I didn't want to be a failure to my family in that sense, because they look up to me in a high regard that I am an artist, but like they don't really see the everyday struggle of an artist, like truly, you know, they don't really understand like in a full capacity like what I even do now, like describing like graphic design to them, it doesn't really like make sense. So, but I did know, you know, that that's like where it's more profitable, because, you know, a lot of people need design in that way more than they realize. And then once you like point out the things you can help them with, you know, then you can get paid for it. And that's what I wanted. Like, I'll do like a few like side commissions, like art wise, but I don't really draw for myself too much. So this is like my first piece that I've done in a while. That answers your question.
Yeah, that's a very comprehensive answer. Cool. Well, very, very interesting. I think it's a very good thing that your family is very supportive, or even hold you to a high standard.
That's also why my fucking ego was so big going into like college, because I was like, oh, I'm amazing. I'm great at this and this, and then I like took my first graphic design course and I was like, I'm fucking awful. Like,
yeah.
So it humbled me a lot.
Oh, even now. like I never, obviously never went to school for it.
Yeah.
It's not what I graduated with.
Yeah.
So even now, after like getting some projects under my belt, I go back and I'm like, what is this? What?
Yeah.
Like when I start on another project, the early stages are always like, did I just forget everything I just did? Or like, am I not there? Like I'm actually garbage. And that my designer and I, we have like that conversation every now and then.
Yeah.
Where like, I obviously have like a mental breakdown. I'm like, dude, could you just take it? Like just do the logo,
fix it,
do the branding, like just whatever you need to.
Yeah.
Just take my name off of it if you have to.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. But yeah, I think that's really cool of your family, and then of you like actually having that confidence in yourself to actually like, cool, I can do this.
Yeah. Usually they reach out, but like a lot of the times I decline just because like I know my limits too, and I know like if I know someone else that could do it better than me, then I'm like, oh, go to them, you know, because I have people also like giving me referrals, so like I try to help out other people that I know, be like, oh no, go to them, like I'm trash actually, so respectfully, I'm trash.
Alrighty. My next question is really another heavy one. I apologize for so many heavy ones back to back to back.
Okay.
But it's more of a glimpse behind the scenes of how you create your art, whether that be digital or physical. What was the question again? Oh, how do you approach creating in general?
Man, it really depends on my mood. Like this piece I've kind of been working on here and there since like I lost my job. I was just like really confused, and like it hit me really hard because for so long I had that job, and you know with COVID being around, I was like, oh no, like I'm good, you know. But like, you know, I wasn't really getting projects either. So it was going to happen eventually, but I think like because I was so comfortable for so long that like whenever I got laid off, I was like, fuck, you know? So it's like, I have to really be in a mood, whether I'm trying to release something or like, if I know that I just need to get on my ass and do it, or if I know that I'm feeling bad, like I have to, the only way to get out of that is to create something. So usually it's like a lot of stress releases or, you know, emotional tension releases. I don't ever draw because I'm like fucking happy. Like who's happy? Like I think that's really hard to do. So if I'm not, you know, because if I'm happy, I don't want to draw because I think of it more as like a therapeutic thing to do. But usually I just got my iPad, so I don't really draw digitally. I'm kind of learning how to because it's like totally different. But I do try to like just sketch and like keep my, you know, like muscle memory to be able to draw figures and faces like pretty well. But I wouldn't say, I don't know. It's hard, but you gotta force yourself sometimes too, because it's like, you see all these other creatives around you doing like all these cool things, and you're like, man, I need to get on it, because just sitting on your ass and being sad about it isn't gonna fix it. So
definitely.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I don't think I've ever made, besides like corporate work, I don't think anything I've made is really like out of happiness.
Yeah.
As well. Like I don't know.
I think it's strange to create out of happiness, honestly.
I don't think anyone does at some point, right?
I mean, depending on how successful you are and blessed you are as like a creative, maybe like you love your work so much that you're happy, but all of the artists I know and I follow, we're all fucking, you know, we want to die. We're dying inside, and so this is like our only way to live, really.
Basically.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's like I've talked about this on like other platforms and stuff, but for me, it's always been about if I make a name for myself, more or less, like my family will see me, if that makes sense. Because I'm on the opposite boat of like they understand that I want to do this creatively, but they're also of sound mind. They're like, hey, we don't want you to live on the streets
Right.
at one point or other. It comes from love, so I can't be mad at them. But yeah, so that always happens where I'm like, if I'm able to make something, then they're like, cool, you done did it. So no one can really say anything about it.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's what's been driving me this whole time.
And dude, let me just say, for someone that like didn't major in design, you've blown me out of the water sometimes, just because like they don't teach you how to be good. You just are, you know? And so it's like really good to, it's good to know and to see, because I mean, I've known people too that like didn't really study it, but like they love it so much that they just create like work I couldn't even imagine. So it's cool to see that, especially so close to home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was like the biggest shock. I was like, wait, I know that person. Like we went to the same classes together. How did this happen? Like right under your nose, kind of? You're
Yeah.
like, oh man.
Yeah.
That would have been nice like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I'm happy. I'm happy we're able to meet up at least, right? At this point. I guess your previous answer really answered this one as well, but my next question was, what's like a general thesis or ideology that you carry or that you want to put into like the majority of your work for yourself? Is there something like a motif that you really want to exemplify throughout your body of work, or is it more of like how you said emotions and how you want to portray whatever emotions you have at a time?
I don't know. I guess like, yeah, I'm definitely more emotionally driven, but like I don't want my work to really convey anything, you know, really. Like I want the viewer to be able to like kind of see it. If they want to feel anything from it, whether they relate, you know, that's cool. But really, your art is for yourself, unless you're trying to make a profit and do something specifically for someone. Sure, that's separate. But like, that's why, you know, whenever you create, you can't really think about the viewer. You have to think about yourself and what you want for yourself and what you want that outcome to be. Because whether people like it or not, like, oh well. You know, and usually they do if they can see that it's something whether you're proud of or not, you know, because you're so hard on yourself as an artist, you know. Create for yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what medium it is, you know. I have friends that, you know, they've, you know, had really hard times and they're just like, what would you do to like, how do you break this shit? Like get out of the cycle of just like, you know, shitstorm. And I'm just like, dude, create, do something. You're a photographer, go take some fucking photos of people, you know, go talk to people, get inspired. And it's also cliche because it like seems so easy, but like sometimes it's fucking hard to get out of bed. So yeah, do it for yourself.
Couldn't have said it better. Solid answer there. Oh man, looking back at it, a lot of these questions just overlap, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, like in the moment, I'm like, yo, these are amazing questions. I'm gonna blow them out of the water. This is gonna be the best ever.
Maybe you should do more like Vans versus Converse ones.
Right? Like just meme ones.
Yeah.
What's a good meme question? What's your favorite emote on Twitch?
Emote?
Yeah.
Man, I'm not even on Twitch enough. I don't even stream anymore. That's like, I guess, I don't even know if I got to the point to where I make emotes. Like I made like icons for when I was affiliate, but then after I became affiliate, I was like, I don't care anymore. I don't want the money. I don't want, like people were starting to like actually give me money. I was like, no, I don't want this. Like, this is not it. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, you're gonna be the next Pokimane? No, dog. That's not what I want, simp army. What the fuck? Anyway, that's besides the point.
But when is, oh man, what's it called? Mommy Milky Mondays coming back.
Ah, dude.
With you in Dallas.
That's hard, honestly. Because we're both so busy now. It's, I don't know. I'll have to ask her because I know that there's actually quite a few people that were like actually tuned in, which is like crazy to me that people love to just hear us like rabble about nothing, literally nothing, just bitching, complaining. You know, I'd say I carried the show. Sure, I had to. I was the like creator, like the owner of it, but. I don't know. Maybe in the fall. We'll see.
Solid answer. So, I guess these all line up together as well. The first question in this line was, well, I guess you already answered that. It was about how your experience. How do you channel your experiences through your art?
Mm-hmm.
And after that, it was, how has COVID affected these experiences for you with the lockdown and everything?
If anything, it made me create more than I wanted to because, you know, playing video games for so long is only so fun. And then I'd have like all of these art supplies. You know, I'd go to the store, buy art supplies and not use them because I'm like how do you say, if I see like nice paper, I'll buy it, and then I will never draw on it.
Ooh.
Because I don't want to like ruin it, or I want whatever I create to be so good that it's like worthy of the paper. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, you have all this stuff lying around. So I'd say specifically after I lost my job, I definitely like got into a grind of just like doing something every day because I had no excuse, and I didn't like not feeling productive with my day and just being lazy, because I'd say that's like my biggest thing with COVID is like I'm just so fucking lazy all the time and I don't want to do these things. But definitely within the past 4 months I've created more than I have in like 2 years for myself, at least like just like home decor because I'd always see like, you know, these things and I'm like, oh, I want that for my house, and people were like, Emily, you're an artist, why don't you just fucking make one? Like do something, like create stuff for your own house, it'd be so cool. And then, you know, you could say that you painted that or you drew that, and I was like, you know what, you're right. Did I do it? No, not until like 2 months ago, but I finally did it. So
yeah, baby steps.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So we answered that. I guess it's a bit too early since you just got your iPad, but my next question was, do you prefer to create digitally or physically for your art?
It's hard to choose. I mean, like, I just have like this, like, I want to just use my iPad because I want to get better, but at the same time, I'm not used to the like sensitivity of it, and my mark making is not as confident. So whenever I'm trying to like do something, anything, if I'm trying to make a mark, it's like fucking wobbly and doesn't look good. And you know, of course you could add like the settings and like mess with the brushes, but that's like a whole other thing I need to learn. But I'd say definitely still like pencil and paper, just because like I know how I can make my marks confident, and it's just, I wouldn't say quicker, I'd say it's about the same, because I still like, even right now, like I'm messing up a lot, but I think that's just because I'm nervous.
You're chilling. Cool. I think I'm in the same boat. I bought my iPad for like Procreate mainly, yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, be so good at lettering now. I'll do this and I'll do that. But I went in and I'm like, oh, now I gotta learn these brushes or gotta fine tune these.
And then you can like buy other people's and like even create your own. It's wild how.
That was a rabbit hole I made sure I didn't go into, because I knew it would have been the worst thing. Because it's the same thing with like courses for like CGI and stuff like that. I'm really learning that right now in motion design.
Yeah.
So I'd buy a course, finish it like 75%, and then I would jump onto another course, and then like never touch that, and then like start doing other work. And so I would end up having like 2 or 3 courses where I'm just like, why did I waste all this money at this point? And I think it would have been the same for brushes, where I'm like, I'm not going to use them that often.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like it a lot, but I think I only like it for certain things. Because I've drawn this piece out, like I have multiple renditions, just trying to figure out like the full like thing of what I wanted to like finalize it. But I think doing it like paper versus like digitally, there's like a lot more wiggle room digitally, so I could just like do things in layers. Like it's so great because if I don't like what I did there, I could just new layer, erase it, do something else. So I'd say for testing, because I'm not really good at backgrounds, kind of like not trained. There's not really a way to train to do backgrounds, so in that aspect, it's amazing just to be able to like switch things in and out, keep doing variations so you find something that works with it. Whereas like pencil and paper, you couldn't fucking do that if you wanted to. So I think now I like digital for like roughing and like drafting up a piece, but then like pencil paper to kind of like, I just know that I'm better with that, and so I can just create a piece and not have to worry about like, oh, will this look good here? I just do it. So, yeah.
Cool. Let's see. I know that you have a couple of tattoos on you.
Yeah.
All right. So very simple, lobbing up a question here. What is your favorite tattoo that you currently have?
Man. Probably, it's got to be my 7s. I don't know if you can see them, but I can just like do a quick like that one.
Yeah.
It's Dallas and I, we got matching tattoos a day after her birthday. Super hungover. She was dead technically, but it's a Joji-san, so 777. Also, it was like. Not that I guess it was a little disappointing too, just because like I was there for pain. Like I like the adrenaline I get when getting a tattoo. So whenever he did it in like 5 minutes, I was just like, oh shit, you're done. He's like, yeah. I was like, well, can you just go over it? Like, can you just keep going? And he was just like, no. I was like, okay. And then for some reason Dallas's took forever, but I guess because it's my most recent and. My first matching tattoo. I imagine I'm gonna get more of other shit eventually, but that's the only one with meaning. Probably the other ones are just like I have Frida here that I did myself, first tattoo. Then I got my ribs done, and then I got this one on my arm, my upper arm, to like start my sleeve, but then I never like I didn't know what to do after that because it's like such a big statement piece that I was just like, fuck, like how am I gonna blend other things into it? And especially now that I have this, but I'm thinking about my next piece being something like in the inner elbow, and it like, I don't know, actually being, I wouldn't say interactive is the right word, but like basically whenever my elbow's closed, it'll look different versus when it's open.
Oh.
So it's like something that like.
I thought you meant like one of those mazes you see on the back of cereal boxes.
What?
I'm like, okay, that's pretty interactive.
Oh no! See, that's why I was like,
like
what's
a
the word?
marker.
I guess like it like morphs or transforms.
No, I understand what you mean.
Yeah. Interactive. What the fuck?
No, I think you have the right word. It's just different meanings for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
That's
you're chilling. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Very, very cool tattoo. This is more of like a future question. Last question. This is more about the future. I noticed that the work that you did on your website that's displayed for the Frida.
Kahlo?
Yes. It was the Por La Vida Frida project. Yeah. I noticed that they had a lot of augmented reality for it, and a lot of that incorporated into this showcase for it. If the opportunity presented itself, like, are you trying to dive into more digital, like, adaptations of your art?
As far as making them interactive for like UI purposes, It depends, you know, if it makes sense for the projects, sure, but I'd say that like that one was, well, it was a school project, and you know, in design school, we were always taught like not to have one of one thing. Like for a project, you want it to be able to be expanded. Like you don't want it to be one logo. Like, okay, cool. Expand on that idea and make a full brand, make a company. Or that project started off as just like a editorial like book design, like an exhibition catalog for a space. So we got to choose the space, the artist, curate the art that we wanted, and write the content on the pieces. So I have like a physical copy of the book that costed me like $300 because you had to, you know, buy your paper, print it. We learned how to like hand bind the book. It was super expensive, so that's why we're starving. For one book, I spent like $300 in college. Nobody really knows that, but it's like a 60-page book. After that, it was like one of my favorite projects, but then my professors were like, okay, this isn't enough. I was like, what do you mean? It's a $300 fucking book. Why is that not enough?
There's 60 pages in here.
Yeah, and so they were just like, well, you know, what else can you do with it? And I was just like, well, I could make an app. And then they were like, that doesn't make sense. I was like, sure it does. You know, what if I took this space that it would be at, which is the Blue House in Mexico, and I made it to where the pieces at the essentially museum were interactive through an app. So, because my thought is like, you know, our generation, like we're so like heads down on our phones all the time. Why not take, because going to museums is boring. Like even as an artist, like I don't really enjoy it. I think it's pretentious. Because I guess, like, I don't even think I'd want my work displayed in such a huge space, because I'm just like, it makes, it like ruins it for me. I'm not sure why, I haven't figured it out. But anyway, making you know, being able to like take your phone, scan the piece of artwork, and then it would recognize it, and then using augmented reality, you kind of be put like in this immersed space where there's like information around you, like using your phone. To kind of like blend the user with the art, so that not only is it informative, it's kind of like, I don't know, I guess it'd capture their attention better, because at museums I'm sort of like, look, go, I'm not there, I don't like pause, I guess that's why earlier I said I don't really want people to feel anything with my art, because I don't feel anything with art at all. Like, it doesn't make me feel, I just feel when I make it. So
after that's the world's.
Yeah.
It belongs to the streets.
It belongs, yeah, to the streets.
Cool. Well, that's all the questions I had
Cool.
for this interview. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you finish your lovely piece without any more distractions. Let me know if you need anything.
Try.
All the links for Emily are all the links for Emily are down below. Please just go do that. Thank you. All right, bet.